Talking Michigan football as we do each and every week with Justin Rowe, and encourage everybody to head on over to Stadium and Main Podcast. You can also catch Justin on Twitter, of course. The handle's right there on the banner, Justin Rowe 92. Giles Jackson's a guy that there might be less of a debate in regards to whether he should have gotten the ball more at Michigan. He certainly in the return game was a huge factor and scored touchdowns a couple seasons ago 3 different ways. He moves on, as we discussed, and people have known for quite some time in the transfer portal, but the landing spot is an interesting one because it's a coincidence that Michigan's big non-conference games against Washington, one of the primary teams in the Pac-12, and Giles Jackson hopes to be a factor for the Huskies, where he wasn't necessarily a factor in the passing game, at least for Michigan.
Yeah, I mean, this kind of seemed like a petty move a little bit, you know. I mean, I don't know how you can't see it that way. At least something to it, you know. Do I think that he's saying, "Oh, who's on Michigan's schedule?" and those are his top 10, you know, teams that he wants to go to? No, but I think that there's something in the back of his mind saying, "Hey, I thought I should have gotten a better shot here. I think I should have gotten more touches, and guess what? You know, I'd love to prove it to him in week 2 next year." I definitely think there's something to that, you know. So I think Giles Jackson is a guy who wears his emotions on his sleeves. You know, some may call him a diva or something to that point. You know, I don't know the kid very well, so I'm not going to say, you know, that he is or isn't, but he's definitely a very emotional guy. You saw that on the field. You saw that in some social media as well. So I see it as like a little bit of a, you know, hey, if you guys don't think I'm good enough, I'll prove it to you, and I'll prove it to you against your defense. So it's very interesting, but it makes for a really fun and interesting headline and come week 2 next year. So that game was already going to be a premier game, I think, for Michigan, as their only, you know, true non-conference game, you know, other than some of the like Western Michigans and things like that. But now you add that to the story and you say, oh, wow. All right. So it'll be interesting to see how Michigan players respond to that. You know, are they still boys with him, or is it like if you aren't with us, you're against us type of a thing? So yeah, we'll see how that goes. But it has been interesting with, you know, you have Joe Milton at Tennessee. You have Zach Charbonnet at UCLA. All these, you know, these are not guys that were just sitting the bench at Michigan. These were serious contributors to Michigan's offense. And so, you know, it'll be very interesting to see, is Joe Milton going to get a shot at Tennessee? Is Zach Charbonnet going to be the number 1 back at UCLA and get his 20 touches a game that a lot of people think he should have gotten here at Michigan? So I don't know. There's a lot to that, but it'll be interesting to see how that all plays out next fall.